गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। क्लास 10th के लिए हम मेटल्स एंड नॉन मेटल्स चैप्टर से एक नया वीडियो लेकर आए हैं। इस वीडियो में आज जो हम पढ़ने वाले हैं, पहले उसका एक ब्रीफ हम डिस्कशन कर लें। हम फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ मेटल्स एंड नॉन मेटल्स आज डिस्कस करेंगे। केमिकल प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ मेटल्स in which we are going to study reaction with oxygen, reaction with water, reaction with dilute acids, reaction with other metal salts, and then we would discuss reactivity series. Okay, so let us start with physical properties. We are not going to discuss the physical properties in deep, just recapitulation of class 8th. In the class 8th, we have already discussed this chapter, metals and non-metals. So few physical properties I have written here of metals. First one is lustrous. Lustrous is actually, the word comes from luster. Luster means a shine. A natural shine is present on the freshly cut surface of any metal. Okay, so on all the surface of all the metals, if it is freshly cut, okay, then the surface is having lustrous. Some metals are very lustrous. They retain their luster for a longer time. That's why they are very expensive, like gold, silver, etc. Next one is generally hard. Metals are generally hard. For example, silver, gold, iron, copper, zinc, they all are hard metals. Some metals are soft, like sodium, potassium. They are soft. They are so soft that they can be even cut with the knife. Okay, so we can cut them with knife, so they are soft. Other metals are hard. Malleable. Malleability means if the metals are hammered, they are not breaking. They convert into thin sheets. So the tendency to be converted into thin sheets is known as malleability. Most of the metals are malleable, okay, except the liquid metal, that is mercury. It is not malleable. Most of the metals are malleable. Ductile metals are used to draw the conducting wires. Okay, so metals are due to their tensile strength, they can be pulled. They do not break. They stretches to form the wires. So the tendency to make wires is called ductility. So most of the metals are ductile. Metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. Through the metals, heat and electricity can pass easily. They allow heat and electricity to pass through them easily. Okay, so they are good conductors. Sonorous. If metal is hammered, then they are producing a ringing sound. Ringing sounds are produced by hammering or beating the metals. That's why we can say they are sonorous. Next one is generally solid. Most of the metals are naturally found in the solid state. Okay, generally they are solid, except mercury. Mercury is present in liquid state. Except mercury, other metals are present in the form of solids. Next one, high density. Metals are highly dense. The atoms of the metals are compactly arranged with each other, so their density is high. Next one is high tensile strength. What is tensile strength? If we hang any load or any weight to a metal wire, okay, then it has the capacity to hold a higher amount of, or we can say more amount of load or weight on it before breaking. So this is known as tensile strength. That's why they are used in construction materials. Okay, so in construction material, why iron is used? Because its tensile strength is high. One more thing, we were discussing good conductor of electricity. Few metals are very highly conducting. For example, silver, copper, they are highly conducting. And lead, Pb, plumbum, we can write. Lead is the least conducting metal. So this is all about the physical properties. It's just a recapitulation. Now we have to discuss about the chemical properties of metals. If we are going to write the physical properties of non-metals, just opposite things. Okay, most of the points we have to just opposite. They are generally non-malleable, non-ductile, non-sonorous, okay, non-lustrous. But at some places, for example, we can say physical properties of non-metals. Okay, so these are non-malleable, non-ductile, non-sonorous, non-lustrous. Okay, we can say poor conductors. Here one exception is there. They are generally poor conductor, but graphite, that is a pure form of carbon, it is a good conductor. So it is exception. Okay, due to presence of free electrons, they are good conductors. Next one is physical state. Physical state. Metals mainly exist in solid state, but non-metals may exist as solid, liquid or gas. Some are solid. For example, iodine is solid, bromine is liquid, and nitrogen, oxygen, etc. they are gases. Okay, other properties are just opposite of metals, so no need to discuss them. When metals react with oxygen, they are forming metal oxides. But all the metals do not react with oxygen with the same rate. For example, we can say sodium and potassium, when they are reacting with oxygen, they react vigorously or violently, we can say, to form the oxides. These reactions are highly exothermic reactions. Some other metals, for example, aluminium. Aluminium is not reacting with oxygen so violently, but at room temperature it reacts to form aluminium oxide. Okay, it can react at room temperature. The reaction is not vigorous like sodium and potassium. Then magnesium. Magnesium also react with oxygen, but whenever it reacts, it is highly exothermic reaction. It produces heat and light to give magnesium oxide. We can say a large amount of light and heat is released. Some metals are not reacting even at higher temperatures. When we are heating them at higher temperature, iron react with oxygen to form iron oxide. We can say Fe3O4. Okay, this is actually we can say iron oxide. It is a mixture of ferric oxide Fe2O3 and ferrous oxide FeO. Then copper. Copper is not reacting even at higher temperature, but when it is heated for a longer time. If it is heated for a longer time, it becomes black in color. We can say prolonged heating. If we are heating it for a longer time, then it becomes black in color. That is due to formation of copper oxide in it. So the rate of reaction with oxygen is not similar. Some are reacting at room temperature or even at the temperature lesser than room temperature. Some are reacting at room temperature, but some are reacting only on heating them vigorously. Okay, so after heating, we can say prolonged heating, and this one is heating. So the reactivity of all the metals with oxygen is not similar, but one similarity is there. All the metals are producing metal oxide. Then what about the nature of metal oxides. So whenever metal oxides, they are actually, we can say, soluble in water, or aqueous solution of metal oxides. When it is tested, it turns red litmus blue. It means most of the metal oxides are basic in nature. Most of the metal oxides are basic in nature. For example, why they are basic? For example, this one is Na2O, sodium oxide. When it reacts with water, it forms NaOH or sodium hydroxide. And sodium hydroxide is a base, that's why we can say it is basic in nature. But few metal oxides, they behave as both acidic and basic. How? Because they react with both acids and bases. For one example, such oxides are known as amphoteric oxides. Amphoteric oxides. Amphoteric oxides means they behave as both acid and bases. Example, we can take zinc oxide, aluminum oxide. Here I am writing the reaction of one. Either we can write down for zinc oxide or aluminum oxide. So I am writing for zinc oxide, ZnO plus HCl, ZnO plus NaOH. When ZnO zinc oxide react with HCl, it forms ZnCl2 plus H2O. When it is reacting with NaOH, it forms Na2ZnO2, sodium zincate plus water. So it is reacting with acids also, it is reacting with bases also, so it is showing both kind of nature, acidic as well as basic. These type of oxides are known as amphoteric oxides. Okay. What about non-metals? When non-metals react with oxygen, they form non-metal oxides. For example, when carbon is burned, carbon dioxide. When sulfur is burned, sulfur dioxide. Nitrogen is burned, nitrogen dioxide. Hydrogen is burned, water. So these are few oxides, few non-metal oxides. Then what about the nature? Most of the non-metal oxides, they are acidic. For example, these are acidic oxide. Why? Because whenever they react with, one example I am taking, whenever they react with water, they forms acid, H2SO3 sulfurous acid. It forms carbonic acid, it forms nitric acid. So they form acids with water when they are dissolved in water. That's why they are acidic in nature. But few of them are neutral. For example, water. It is an oxide of hydrogen. Hydrogen is a non-metal, but its nature is neither acidic nor basic. It is a neutral oxide. Another example of neutral oxide is carbon monoxide, CO. It is also neutral oxide. So non-metal oxides may be either acidic or neutral, while the metal oxides may be basic or amphoteric. Okay, is it clear? So now next chemical property, reaction of metals with water. So all the metals are not reacting with water at the same temperature. For example, some are reacting with cold water. How? For example, sodium and potassium. They are reacting with water even at okay. So they react vigorously with cold water to form hydroxide and gives hydrogen gas. Some metals do not react with cold water, but they react with water at room temperature. For example, calcium. When calcium react with water, it form calcium hydroxide, then hydrogen gas is released. Next one is some of the metals, they do not react with water at room temperature also. They are reacting with hot water. Magnesium, when react with water, magnesium hydroxide is formed, hydrogen gas is released. Okay. Some other metals, they do not react with hot water. They react with steam. They react with steam. For example, iron. When iron is reacting with steam, it forms Fe3O4 plus H2. Okay. Aluminium is reacting with steam. Zinc is reacting with steam. Zinc plus H2O. So some metals are reacting with cold water. Calcium is reacting with water at room temperature. Magnesium is reacting with hot water, and iron, zinc, aluminium, they are reacting at with water. They are not reacting with water, they are actually reacting with steam, vapor form of water. And some metals do not react with steam also. For example, silver, lead, they are not reacting. So if we want to write the reactivity order with water, we can say potassium is most reactive, then sodium, then calcium, then magnesium, then aluminium, then zinc, iron, then silver, copper, silver, like this we can write. Okay, so this is all about the reaction of metals with water. Here one question is asked, why calcium float on surface of water? Okay, so whenever it is reacting with water, it actually forms calcium hydroxide plus hydrogen. This hydrogen gas stick to the surface of calcium pieces and make it lighter. Okay, these bubbles stick to the surface of calcium metal and make it lighter. So when it becomes lighter, it floats on water. So it is due to the sticking of hydrogen bubbles on the calcium surface. Next is the reaction of metals with dilute acids. A reaction of metals with, or we can say with dilute acids. Okay, some metals react vigorously with dilute acids. For example, the same thing, potassium and sodium. When they are reacting with dilute acids, they form salts and hydrogen gas is released. Sodium is NaCl plus hydrogen gas is released. To balance them, we can put. Okay, so they are reacting vigorously. Calcium also reacts with dilute acids, but it is reacting less vigorously. For example, we can say they are reacting vigorously. Calcium is also reacting to form calcium chloride and hydrogen gas, but the reaction is not so vigorous. Magnesium also react with dilute acids, but it is less violent than the upper three metals. Okay. Then aluminium. Aluminium react with HCl. Initially it react with HCl, dilute HCl slowly. Why initially it reacts slowly? Because the surface of aluminium is covered with aluminium oxides. That's why the aluminium oxide react with acid slowly. When the oxide layer is completely removed, then it start reacting vigorously with HCl. So the complete reaction we can write down like this: AlCl3 plus H2. Okay, some metals react with dilute acids very slowly. For example, we can say iron FeCl2 plus H2. It is a very slow reaction. Some metals do not react with dilute acids. Which metals are those? These are the metals: copper, silver, lead. They are generally not reacting with dilute acids. Okay, so they are not reacting because they are least reactive than hydrogen, so they cannot remove hydrogen from the acids. Okay, so some metals react very violently, some reacts less violently, some reacts very slowly, and some other metals do not react with acids. Okay, one more thing I want to discuss here. If in all these reactions, whenever metals are reacting with acids, they remove hydrogen gas. Okay, but with dilute HNO3, if any metal is reacting with dilute HNO3, then hydrogen gas is not removed. For example, if we find that calcium react with HNO3, okay, so when it is reacting, the reaction should be like this: CaNO3 whole twice plus H2. It should have been like this, but it is not like this. The hydrogen is not released. Instead of hydrogen, what is formed? H2O is formed. Why it is so? Because HNO3 is a strong oxidizing agent. It is a strong oxidizing agent. So whenever hydrogen gas is produced, it converts hydrogen into water and itself gets converted into any oxide of nitrogen. Okay, so due to a strong oxidizing nature of HNO3, it oxidizes hydrogen into water. That's why hydrogen gas is not released. Many times this question is asked: which acid do not produce hydrogen gas with most of the metals? It produces with some of the metals. When HNO3 is reacting with magnesium or manganese, when it is reacting with them, it produces hydrogen. Okay, because they are even strong reducing agents. Okay, they are stronger reducing agent than HNO3. That's why hydrogen gas is produced. But for other metals, with HNO3, hydrogen gas is not produced because HNO3 is a strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes hydrogen into water molecules. Okay, so this is about the reaction of metals with dilute acid. Next one is reaction with other metal salts. This reaction we have already discussed. If metal is more reactive than the metal already present in the salt, then it will be displaced. For example, if we put an iron nail in copper sulfate solution, after some time the color of copper sulfate solution faded and it becomes light green. Okay, why it is so? Because iron is more reactive than copper. If we are putting in AgNO3 colorless solution, if copper pieces we put in silver nitrate solution, then what happens? It slowly turns into a green solution. Okay, so more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal. This is known. As we have already discussed, by the displacement reactions we can find out which metal is more reactive than other one. Okay, for example, if metal A is placed in salt of metal B, then what happens? Metal B, if it is less reactive and metal A is more reactive, then metal B is displaced. Then what is formed? Salt of metal A plus metal B. We can make it more clear from the above this example. This one, copper sulfate. bluish color solution. If we are putting zinc in it, then what happens? It becomes a colorless solution, and a brown color deposition of copper is formed. Okay, so here we can say this one is more reactive, this copper is less reactive. So more reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from its salt. So by these type of reactions, we can find out the reactivity order of metals. If all the metals are arranged in a vertical column in the decreasing order of their reactivity, that is known as reactivity series. For example, we can understand like this: P, S, C, Mg. Okay, potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, nickel, tin, and lead. Okay. So this one is the reactivity order of metals. Then after this one, hydrogen, mercury, copper, mercury, silver, gold, platinum. So here this one is most reactive, and in this series it is less reactive. Okay, so this vertical arrangement of all the metals is known as reactivity series. So these metals, they are shown here, they are more reactive than hydrogen, and these metals are less reactive than hydrogen. So we can easily find out which metals would not react with dilute acids, which are less reactive than hydrogen. For example, copper does not react with HCl, dilute HCl. Why? Because copper is less reactive than hydrogen, so copper cannot displace hydrogen from its salt. Okay, so this is the reactivity series, the vertical arrangement of metals in decreasing order of their reactivity. Okay, so by this reactivity series we can find out the reactivity order of the metals. Thank you very much. This is all about the chemical properties of physical and chemical properties of metals. Thank you so much. Keep learning, keep growing, keep watching. Thank you.